Many of you saw me open this T-Loom box during my live stream, where we're currently at a 14 box skunk streak. And we popped the top of this box and checked both sides because I had a feeling it was a lucky box. Well, it ended up having no silver enders, and now that it's open, I've got 100. I figured I'd film it just in case we get lucky, so fingers crossed we find some silver. Hey everybody, it's Rob with RobFindsTreasure, and I already said everything in the intro. You guys know what we're doing here. I'm using my clad coinage varieties mat. I will be checking for varieties just in case we find some of those amidst any silver that we can get lucky to find. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with roll one. As you guys know, I'll bring you in if and when we find anything that's a silver, a foreign, a proof, or, if we're lucky, a variety. Little did I know that those words would prove to be prophetic, because not only did we find some varieties, we found some I don't normally find. Well, I guess if we're lucky we'll find silver, but I'll take varieties too. All right, I'll bring it back if we get something. Well, roll number 3 will give us something. We've got a 2012 Denver NIFC. I'll take it. Don't have a lot from the teens or the 20s yet, and I need them for sets. Now let's find more goodies. Well, roll number 13 is going to be a good find. Hunting through it, got a 71D under the scope, and take a look at this. We've got doubling. A little notch here, notch there, extra here, couple of serifs on top, splitting on the S and on the T. 1971D DDO. I've only found a handful of these in my life, and even though this one's not in the greatest condition, probably clean like the one I submitted to PCGS. Just kidding, but I'll take it. It is one of the ones I want. Man, I will take that, and I know it's not silver, but I'm okay with that. That's a good find, and a 71D is a tougher variety to find, especially the 101. The 102, where it has doubling on the word in God, or the words in God, is more common, and I don't check for it as often, but that one's a good one. I'll bring the PCGS price guide report up so you guys can see how good that one is. So I've got the 71D $half FS 101 brought up, and if we zoom in on the markers here, you can see it's showing the exact doubling that I was talking about. And mine's probably not in mint state, but it's definitely in that AU range. So it's a $35 to $40 coin that we paid 50 cents for. Oops, it's over here. So I'm not mad at that, like I said. It does have something going on top, a superficial scratch, which probably would keep it from even getting an AU grade, to be honest. But either way, it is confirmed a 71D FS 101, and I'll take it. Now let's get back to the hunt and see if we can find silver. So before I show this next coin, this is actually unreal. And I'll tell you, I'll set this up by saying that I'm noticing a lot of coins that I haven't scoped ever. And I know many of you saying, Rob, with as many half dollars as you hunted, how do you know if you scoped them? I don't know what it is. I can just tell by when I scope them if I've seen them before because of the way that the strike is or certain damage on them, things like that. That being said, I'm on roll 14, and I almost missed it. I have a 77D under the scope, and the image is blurry here for a reason, and I'll show you why. When I scoped this one, I noticed it looked unusually thick here on the R. So I went ahead and put it under the scope, and because of the damage, it's hard to see. But if I rotate it just enough, you can see clearly it's got a double top of the U, a split serif on the R, and splitting on the S. And I almost missed it because it looked weird, but it looked weird enough to have me take a closer look, and that is most definitely a 1977 DDO. Can you believe it? Minted in Denver. We now have almost back-to-back rolls where we have found two of the varieties that I don't find too often. If we find a 74 and a 73 and a 72, I'm going to go bonkers. Two varieties and an NIFC in almost 14 rolls. Figured I'd give it a little more context. 1977D $half DDO FS 101. If you zoom in on the areas I was talking about, you can see the splitting on the R and on the U and the S and the T. And this is a pretty valuable one. Even in a low mint state grade, it's a $100 coin. If we get back in the AU range, it's still north of 70 bucks. This one right here, based on what I'm looking at, is definitely in that AU to MS range. So this is a $70 to $100 coin. Unbelievable. Again, I am scoping a lot of years that I have not really recognized under the scope, and we have a lot of Philadelphia mint coins in this box. So definitely keep my eyes peeled. We're definitely going to check for all the varieties, including the no FGs like I always do, but especially even the 82p no FG, because I don't check that as often. Let's get back to the hunt. We're on a hot streak. Still no silver. Roll number 20, NIFC number 2, 2010 Denver. Roll 26, NIFC number 3, 2006 Philly. Roll 28 actually had an NIFC ender, 2015 Philadelphia. We'll take it. NIFC number 4. Roll 41, NIFC number 5, 2007 Denver. Well, we finished that T-Loom box, and yes, it was a skunk box, but I'll take the 5 NIFCs I found and the 71D FS101 DDO and the 77D FS101 DDO. About $100 in value, at least in coins on the DDOs, and, you know, NIFCs for the sets. We also pulled across 2 uglies for Charlani's Ugly Collection. I know it was San Silver once again, but I think that was a fun hunt. And if you're going to get silver skunked, hopefully you'll get some varieties. I figured I would just take 1 second and show you the collection of uglies that we have for Charlani's collection that are not inside of her uglies albums. These are all the ones that I have found over the years that we have pulled aside. Some of them are in better shape than others, but maybe the toning on the front's cool. These are the ones that didn't make the album, but that we always keep aside. And eventually, we'll have to see if I can make a full box filled with rolls of just ugly coins. And then finally, you guys always wonder why I pull the NIFCs aside. I have a box of NIFCs right here. These are the ones that still need to be sorted. We have all the way from 2002 P&D, 03 P&D, 04 P&D, and so on and so forth, all the way through 2020. And then, of course, in these rolls, we have some 2020s and 2019s that I still need to sort through as well. But what I do is I take all of the NIFCs, sort them into the year and mints, and then go through the coins, and anything that has the ring of death or is not in great shape, I send back. But if it's good, then I'll make a set out of it. That way someone can have a full 2002 to 2020 P&D set that are in mint state condition and not ones that have any issues. Just figured I'd throw in these couple of clips because I get asked a lot what we do with the NIFCs and to see Charlani's ugly collection of half dollars. Hopefully you enjoyed that $50 hunt with me. I know I did. If you did, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting and thanks for watching. I'm sorry, 2021 Silver Jar. We haven't got any silver half dollars for you today, just like we haven't got any silver half dollars in a while. But I do have some varieties if you want them. Oh, my bad.